as the best book. Without any debate. After Jesus, in the first century, the most impactful Christian. Can you hear me at the back? Let's fix it. Something appears wrong with it. All right. The grace of God, I am what I am. And this grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain. But I labored more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of God which was with me. Now, as I was saying, apart from Jesus, if you compare anyone else in the first century and in the many other centuries that would follow, Apostle Paul was the most impactful minister. And even him, he knew it. That's why he even pointed it out here. He said that he wasn't the only apostle. And there were several other apostles. And he called himself, as they had talked with Jesus, Jesus had actually, practically showed them certain things. Apostle Paul came later on after Jesus had died. So Apostle Paul came later on. He started persecuting the church. He wasted all his time like that. And then he took off. But when he took off, there is something that marked a great difference between Apostle Paul and the others. Apostle Paul tells us, he says that I labored more what? Abundantly. He says I labored more abundantly than they all. In other words, I worked much harder. Them worked hard. Yes, Peter worked hard. James worked hard. All of the others worked hard. But Apostle Paul says, I worked much harder than all of them. And you see, reading the book of Acts, you really understand that Apostle Paul worked very hard. The guy was whipped. He never gave up. The guy was stoned. He never gave up. Several times they thought he was dead, but he never gave up. The guy was betrayed many times. He never gave up. He was involved in a shipwreck. He never gave up. Beaten by a snake. He never gave up. The guy was ill-treated many ways. Many things happened, but he never what? Gave up. Hallelujah. Right. So, he was disturbed many times. He was beaten many times. Distracted many times. We went hungry many times. The Bible tells us that Apostle Paul says, it says, in fastings often. The guy fasted a lot. Fasted a lot. But the Bible shows us, that same verse actually, tells us that not only did he fast, sometimes he just went hungry. In other words, there were times that he literally had no food. Had no food, but kept on working. He says he was thirsty many times. Not thirsty because he was fasting, but thirsty because he didn't have what to drink. But the man kept on at it. So the man worked so hard, and then ended up achieving a lot of results. And I told you something. What makes a very great difference between people, even in this ministry, is not the grace that is upon their life, as sometimes as it may be. Or, in a sense, it's not the grace that is operating in this ministry on this one and not on this one. Sometimes it's not just that. It is how that individual is working much harder than the other individual. So there are others that are just looking at it that the grace of God is at work in my life. And that's all. They keep quiet. And they think that everything will just work fine. Others, they recognize the place of grace, but they are working very hard. They end up achieving much more. For example, look at it. All of you, in your hundreds, all of you listen to the same preaching. Others, some is not doing in their life. Yet it's the same place. There are some that are moving forward, making progress. There are some that are still having issues. You know that, and still threatening. Still threatening. I heard someone that said a few weeks ago, said that if this happens in RFP, in other words, if we make a certain decision in RFP, he says that I'm going to quit. No, actually, it was something like, If they put that one as a leader or something like that, me, I'm going to quit. He says, because that one is not a good person. So, as some are just serving the Lord and making progress, impacting lives, some still have people that they hate. So they still have enemies within the same ministry. So they don't like Minister Hastings. And they can threaten, if you make Minister Hastings our cell leader, we are moving out of the cell. As others are working hard. So what differentiates one person from grace? But the hard work that you put to your grace. Are you listening? The hard work that you put to your grace, very important. You see, any figure multiplied by 0, the answer is what? 0, isn't it? Your grace may be hallelujah. Is there something we need to buy? Then let's buy. I'm sure whatever is making the creaky, it should be something very cheap, probably. Actually, its value is not the same number as the people we are here. It can't be over 500,000. But over 500 people are listening to me now. Even if all of us just give one quarter. Can you hear me now?